Thank you for being here on this truly exciting day for Veterans House Canada and the launch of our Edmonton build. My name is Jaylen Nye, and I'm proud to be joined by retired Brigadier General Andre Corbould. Together, we represent Alberta on the Board of Directors for Veterans House Canada, and we are thrilled to welcome you to this milestone event. As we break ground today, we are reminded of why we are doing this. Too many veterans find themselves homeless, and often for the same reasons as other Canadians. Poverty, a lack of affordable housing, job loss, health challenges, and family breakdowns. But for veterans, the struggle is often deeper. Leaving the military just doesn't mean leaving a job. It can mean losing a sense of identity, community, rank, and purpose. The transition to civilian life can be jarring, and for many, it leads to isolation, addiction, and mental health challenges. Nearly half, about 46% of homeless veterans are living with one or more serious illnesses. Mental illness, addiction, physical disabilities, or chronic medical conditions, sometimes all at once. They are our heroes. They served our country. They put their lives on the line. It is simply unacceptable that any veteran should be without a home. This is not an unsolvable problem. In fact, we know what works. The most requested form of support from homeless veterans is permanent, affordable, and supportive housing, safe, stable places to live with access to the care and services that they need. As Canadians, we have a duty of care. Ending veteran homelessness is not just possible, it is necessary. And together, we can make it happen. We are making it. You, with us, are helping us make it happen. That's why your presence here today speaks volumes. We are honored to have support from all three levels of government, each of which has contributed generously. A special thank you to the City of Edmonton, which made this build possible by allowing us to purchase the land that you're on right now for $1. We are also joined by John Carswell from Canso Investment Council Limited. John's support has been instrumental to the success of Veterans House Canada. Our heartfelt thanks goes to the Legion National Foundation, which has stepped up with vital financial support. And we are grateful to organizations working to make Edmonton a better place, including the Edmonton Civic Employees Charitable Assistance Fund, now a major supporter, and the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation. We are joined by representatives from leading companies like Lockheed Martin, Avail Medical, and EPCOR, who generously sponsored today's refreshments and for our ceremony afterwards, for our luncheon afterwards. And a warm welcome to our friends from ATCO and TELUS, and of course our key development partner, Ellis Dawn, and our construction partners, OML Construction. Hi, guys. And of course, their team has already been very hard at work on site. We extend our gratitude as well to the Athlone community, whose support over the past months have meant so very much. Today marks a major milestone. In December 2023, Edmonton City Council approved this parcel of land for our build. And since then, it has been a whirlwind of planning, fundraising, designing, and assembling the team to bring this vision to life. The new building will mirror our Ottawa home, the Andy Carswell building, with 40 bachelor units, a social room, fitness area, library, kitchen, laundry, community garden, and a service dog area. We anticipate opening our doors late next year. And when we do, our residents, Canadian veterans, will have access to a wide range of supportive programs, mental health services, employment and financial literacy training, physical rehabilitation, addiction support, art therapy, and conflict resolution, just to name a few. These programs are aim to help veterans overcome barriers, manage PTSD and depression, regain control over addictions, and celebrate their successes. We've seen this transformation firsthand in Ottawa. Since opening in 2021, the Andy Carswell building has been at full capacity with a waiting list. These veterans have come from across Canada to access our services, including 2 veterans from Edmonton. As we mentioned earlier, it's estimated about 5,000 veterans in Canada are currently homeless. Veterans House Canada is the only organization in the country offering permanent, affordable, supportive housing specifically for them. Some residents stay for a few months, and some of them find a forever home. I saw this myself during a visit to Ottawa earlier this year. I spoke with veterans who shared their stories, some heartbreaking and some humorous, but all filled with pride for their new home and the programs that have helped them rebuild their lives. That's the difference that Veterans House Canada is making, and we know that it's going to make the same difference here in Edmonton. Thank you for being a part of this journey. We look forward to sharing more about the project and connecting with you over refreshments after the ceremony. Right now, though, I'd like to acknowledge that that Edmonton is situated on Treaty 6 territory and is the homeland of Métis Region 4. We are grateful to the First Nations and Métis people who have lived on and cared for this land since time immemorial. We thank the Cree, Dene, Saulteaux, Nakota Sioux, and Blackfoot peoples for their enduring presence and contributions to our vibrant community, and we are committed to building a strong, positive relationship for a shared future in the spirit of reconciliation. I'd ask you now, if you're seated, to please stand for the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, you'll hear the unmistakable roar of history. And then in the sky, you will witness a true legend, the Canso FNJE, a fully restored 1943 World War II patrol bomber, once known as RCAF 11094. This isn't just an aircraft, it's a symbol of passion, perseverance, and pride. For over a decade, a dedicated group of aviation enthusiasts from Fairview, Alberta, poured their hearts into bringing this rare amphibious plane back to life. And today, it flies again. Not just as a machine, but as a living chapter of Canada's aviation story. During the Second World War, the Canso soared over the icy North Atlantic, hunting enemy submarines, rescuing stranded airmen, and protecting vital convoys between Canada and Europe. After the war, it took on a new mission, helping build the Mid-Canada Dew Line, a radar shield against Cold War threats. Later, it became a water bomber for Newfoundland, battling forest fires from above. Now, it's supposed to be coming this way, that way, momentarily. Its wartime camouflage, white and gray to blend with the clouds, has since been replaced by bold orange and green, the proud colors of the Newfoundland Forest Service, and given how smoky it is today, somewhat appropriate. These colors were chosen to stand out in the smoky skies, thank goodness. But make no mistake, this aircraft is still a warrior at heart. Today, as Canso FNJE flies overhead, it salutes Veterans House Canada and every Canadian who served. It reminds us that service comes in many forms and that history, when preserved and honored, can still soar. I'd now like to turn things over to my colleague on the board of directors and my friend, Brigadier General Retired Andre Corbould.
So in the interest of respecting everyone's time, we're going to carry on with the program, but we're going to ask everyone to be a little agile as we see the aircraft. Everybody should point it out, look at it. We'll pause wherever we are and just enjoy that for a few minutes as it circles about. So, and here we go. There we go. Enjoy the aircraft. Okay, outstanding. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Veterans House Canada Executive Director, Al Mulawishin, or Mully as he's known. Brigadier General Retired Al Mulawishin is the Executive Director of Veterans House Canada. Alan and his team have been working hard towards this day, and I'd like to invite him to the podium to share his thoughts on the project and the importance of it. And just on a personal note, I want to say it's great to see you again, Al. We go back a long ways to when we first deployed to Kuwait and Iraq in 1992 and had a very interesting tour. So welcome, Alan, and once this flies over one more time, you're up on the podium.
What a sight. John, thank you so much for providing the aerial entertainment today. That is truly amazing. I'd like to welcome everybody here to this very special event, this groundbreaking ceremony for Veterans House Canada's second project. Of course, I mentioned our first in Ottawa, and our second is here in Edmonton, proudly here in Alberta, with the hopes of a few more across the country in the future, but we're thrilled to be here in Edmonton. I'd like to special welcome the MLA Lunty from the province, Acting Mayor Principe, from the city, Councillor Rutherford, whose ward we're in. And so thank you very much, Aaron, for all your fantastic support of the project. Of course, John Carswell and Heather from the CANSO team. We wouldn't be here without you. Thank you so much. And of course, friends, supporters, donors, and especially our new neighbors here in Athlone. Thank you so much for being here today. You know, it's wonderful just to look there and see that building. What was just an idea a couple of years ago and was really a piece of empty ground 3 months ago. And to see the progress that's being made, it's becoming real. It's truly amazing. I want to thank particularly, CANSO Investments in the Carswell family for the initial funding that let us get the ball rolling. You need that trust, you need that faith, you need that backing in order to get the ball rolling while we work through all the processes of government funding. And again, all three levels of government have come through with funding, which is absolutely amazing. And once again, the city with the land. But without that initial investment, that initial trust, nothing happens. And so once again, John and CANSO, for the Carswell family, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your support in Ottawa and continued support here in Edmonton. Now, it is, as Jalen mentioned, it's unfortunate that we need to exist to help support our homeless veterans. But we can't stick our head in the sand and pretend the problem's going to go away. We can't ignore it. We need to do our part because they did theirs. It's now our turn. You know, there's a need across the country, and we are proud that our second home is here in Edmonton. You know, again, modeled after the successful project in Ottawa, the Andy Carswell building. It's been open since February of 2021 and has already housed 74 homeless veterans to date. Sadly, the need is there, and they're coming from across Canada. And we're happy that Edmonton is going to be a second spot available, hopefully closer to home. We are proud to offer permanent, supportive, and affordable housing options to our homeless veterans. You know, a place they can call their home and be amongst fellow veterans, and have access to supports, especially those focused on veterans, for example, from the Royal Canadian Legion, we're great partners, and Veterans Affairs Canada. You know, just standing here again in the parking lot, looking at this building, you know, it makes me so proud of the whole team that has put everything together. So a special shout out to Ellis Dawn Community Builders, who are development partners. CSV and Dialogue Architects, whose design this is, OML Construction, who is putting it together, and of course all of the design team and subcontractors that are making it real. Again, just to be able to see it go up and how fast it's going up, taking advantage of the weather before, of course, the Edmonton winter sets in, is amazing. But that being said, none of this would have occurred without the support of the City of Edmonton staff. So Acting Mayor Principe and Councillor Rutherford, I just want to say thank you, and please pass on our thanks to all the city staff, everything from going through council to the sale process, to the rezoning, and on and on and on, all the permits. The city staff have been simply amazing, so please pass on our heartfelt thanks to them. And thanks to our new Athlone neighbours, especially the Athlone Community League, who have warmly welcomed us to the neighbourhood. And the Athlone Community League will be hosting a reception afterwards, and I hope you can join us there. Now, we're standing here today, but the job's not done yet. There's still funding needed. Although we've raised and received over $10 million of funding, there's still about $4 million left to go. And I wouldn't be a charity if I didn't really mention fundraising, right? And so there's some QR codes and things. You want to talk to us later, we take checks. But it is an ongoing effort, obviously, to raise the funds. And then once we get it open, to keep it running. Sometimes people say it's easier just to get it built. It's the long-term funding, which is more of a challenge, to make sure we're providing all those supports that are veterans. So I'm looking forward to having the building open at the end of next year. Hopefully most of you can join us for the grand opening ceremony. It'll be something very special. And we're obviously keen to get it open before the frigid, cold Edmonton winter sets in next year. So we don't have homeless veterans on the streets having to suffer through that. We look forward to welcoming our first tenants through the door. We're already hired staff in place here in Edmonton to be ready for that. So we're ready and we're raring to go. So once again, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your friendship. And I look forward to talking to many of you either after the ceremony here, or please join us at the Athlone Community League where we can talk to each other. And once again, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alan. I just want to for a moment for all of us to turn our thoughts towards Elder Miss Betty Latondra, who is going to join us today. She's feeling a little under the weather. She's okay, but we have been working with her, and we were hoping she would be here to start this ceremony off and to provide an opening prayer, share her wisdom and her humor as she always does, and start this project in a good way. And I want to assure you that we will still find a time to bring her over to the location to do her prayer, and just give a thought to her and hope she has a speedy recovery, please. Next, Minister Eleanor Olszewski is not able to join us this morning, but I did want to acknowledge the significant contribution from the federal government, and we'll find other ways to acknowledge that, especially when we do the ribbon cutting to open this event. And now I'd like to take the opportunity where the province of Alberta has been another key partner in this project, and I'd like to welcome to the podium MLA of Leduc-Beaumont, Brandon Lunty, to bring some words of greetings from the province.
All right, good morning, everyone. What a treat for that flyover. That was amazing, and thank you, Jalen, for a little military history behind it. It's always good to learn and to get a chance to experience something like that. So my name is Brandon Lunty, and I am the MLA for Leduc-Beaumont. I'm truly honored to be invited here today by Veterans House Canada and to celebrate this amazing project. And of course, bring some brief remarks on behalf of Minister Jason Nixon, who's the Minister of Assisted Living and Social Services, as well as MLA Justin Wright, who's our military liaison for the Canadian Armed Forces. So both Minister Nixon and MLA Wright have been talking to me and my colleagues about this project and how excited they are and how important it is. So I know both of them definitely send their regrets. They've worked closely with many of you, and they wish they could be here. But I'm very honored that I was able to come and speak on their behalf. I would also like to recognize another colleague of mine, MLA Nicole Goring is here, and she's the opposition critic for the Canadian Armed Forces, so welcome. When I look at this project, well, first of all, the first thing I thought of was I wish all groundbreakings were this far in advance. That would be amazing. It just shows the speed that we can do it. And I think we need a big shout out to our workers up there. Obviously moving at a good pace. Thanks, guys. But when I think of this project, I can't help but think of partnership. So we've heard that already from our speakers, and Brigadier General, thank you so much for your leadership, and for Veterans House Canada, to our sponsors and all our donors and partners who are with us. This truly shows what partnership can look like in our community. And of course, as mentioned, this is a partnership between all three levels of government. So there's a federal involvement, the province, of course, and then we're going to be hearing from Acting Mayor Principe shortly, and her colleague Councillor Rutherford is joining us as well. And I think Councillor Stevenson just joined us, just snuck in. So that's great. So welcome all, and thank you all for your leadership and the municipal involvement in this project. So we've heard a little bit about why this is important, and supporting our veterans. Nothing could be more pivotal in our community. So if there are, I know there are. So all the veterans who are joining us here today, thank you for your service. We can't say that enough. You've sacrificed so much, you and your families, to serve us. So it's important that we thank and acknowledge you wherever we can, and we support projects like this. So thank you again. I'm glad that many of you, round of applause for our veterans, that they are able to join us here today. But we have heard a little bit already that there can be difficulties in adjusting back to civilian life after their service. Some veterans do find themselves in situations where maybe we do need a little bit of help through projects like this. And that's why we really appreciate the leadership of groups like Veterans House Canada, so they get a chance to contribute. And that's why our government is so excited to be able to make our $3.4 million investment through our Affordable Housing Partnership Program. So this contribution is going to help with these 40 units over here. But of course, these units are more than just the physical construction. These are 40 families, 40 veterans who are going to be able to contribute to the community. They're going to be able to get jobs in the community. They're going to be able to maybe start their own businesses in the community, and it all starts with a home. So I don't like to think of them as units. I think of this is the way that we can support our entire community through 40 families. So we're really excited that we're able to help with those contributions. And of course, this investment is part of our government's larger Affordable Housing Partnership Program, and which is, again, in partnership with the federal government, municipal governments, and industry throughout Alberta. So I'd like to talk briefly about some of our investments to date. Since 2022, we've invested $386 million to support more than 4,000 affordable units and shelter spaces throughout the province. And we're continuing this investment in budget 2025. We'll see more than 5,300 units created with $654 million over 3 years. So we're increasing this program by $250 million. So we're very excited to see our Affordable Housing Partnership Program continue to serve those who need housing solutions throughout Alberta. And all of this, of course, is done under the umbrella of our Stronger Foundations Affordable Housing Strategy, where we are going to be adding 82,000 households by 2031. So those are some of the numbers. I am happy to talk about those on Minister Nixon's behalf. But again, when I come and talk to folks in the crowd, see projects like this, it really is about the people who live in these units, live in our community, and we're going to make sure that we're there to support them. We're going to make sure we're going to continue to support our veterans, and we're going to be good community partners in working with all levels of government and all partners. So again, on behalf of Minister Nixon and MLA Wright, thank you all for joining us, and let's celebrate this groundbreaking. Thank you very much.
Excellent. As we mentioned earlier in the opening comments, Edmonton City Council approved this parcel of land for our building in December of 2023 and sold it to us for $1. The support from the City of Edmonton has been a key factor in getting to where we are today and getting here so quickly. So it's great to have Councillor Principe, Councillor Rutherford, and Councillor Stevenson here today. And I would like to invite Councillor Principe, who is the acting mayor today, to come forward and say a few words on behalf of her colleagues.
Thank you very much. Yes, I would like to ask my colleagues to please join me up here. And, you know, when I pulled up, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm late for the groundbreaking, right? But it's great to see, you know, the efficiency of our building industry in Edmonton. Very proud to see that. And really great to have everyone here this morning. Good morning. It's an honor to gather with you today on Treaty 6 territory. I'm joined alongside with my colleague, Councillor Aaron Rutherford, who represents the ward we are situated in, and my other colleague, Councillor Ann Stevenson, who represents the downtown area. And, you know, this groundbreaking ceremony is such a wonderful initiative. We are so proud to be supportive of this. And as a member of the Edmonton Salutes Committee, I'm very appreciative of my colleagues for, they know that it's close to my heart, and I appreciate their support in this. And I would like to acknowledge, I know MLA Nicole Goring is here. She's on the Edmonton Salutes Committee, as well as Caitlin Corbold is on the, and we have Chair Brian Hodgson is here as well. Any other Edmonton Salutes? No, so thank you very much, everyone, for showing up and being here today. On behalf of Mayor Soey and my council colleagues, I'm pleased to be here on this special occasion to share our message of hope and gratitude. In this space, a home is built, a safe haven, a place where veterans can lead fulfilling lives post their military service. Having common spaces in the building where veterans can connect with one another and access counseling support will greatly contribute to leading these fulfilling lives. We thank Veterans House Canada for bringing this project to our city. I had the pleasure of meeting Alan Molly, the executive director, who has a real passion for caring for our veterans. Thank you. We also thank our government partners. Thank you, MLA Brandon Lundy, for being here today. We appreciate your support. Canso Investment Council Limited, also, and the many generous individual donors who are supporting this goal and helping to build a more vibrant Edmonton. Oh, I'm getting emotional. Veterans dedicated their lives to protecting the rights and freedoms that we enjoy today. It's our duty now to give back to them. And I want to say thank you for the service, all those who have joined us today, and even those that aren't here with us now. Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much, City of Edmonton. Several years ago, Toronto resident John Carswell, the president of Canso Investment Council, made a generous lead gift on behalf of the Carswell family, which helped lay the foundation for the first Veterans House Canada building in Ottawa. In honor of John's late father, Squadron Leader retired Andy Carswell, AFC-CD, the building was named Veterans House, the Andy Carswell Building. Andy Carswell was a proud veteran of the Royal Canadian Air Force who served during the Second World War. In 2018, Canso Investment Council made a second lead gift to Veterans House. The company itself is named after the Canso aircraft flown by Squadron Leader Carswell during his military service, which you saw earlier. We are honored to have Mr. Carswell with us today and would like to invite him to the podium to say a few words on behalf of the Carswell family and Heather and Mason Woods on behalf of Canso.
Well, thank you for all coming out. When I was approached to fund the Veterans House, I said, I'm not much of a politician. Sorry, politicians. You don't want me on the board because I was a bit of a disturber, as I was called in the military. And I said, whatever you want me to do, we'll do. And we've done it. And the problem with most charitable organizations is everybody wants to donate to get recognition, but very few people want to donate to something upfront to pay soft costs. And so I'm in the investment business, and I do venture investment, sometimes well, sometimes not well, but maybe 2 out of 10 of your venture investments work out. People don't know that, and but the 2 that really work out pay for your 8 losers. And so when we built the first one, the thing that impressed me about it was that they were into a holistic approach to Veterans House. They said, we're going to sit down with veterans and ask them what they need. So there's officers with index pensions who've been residents of the Veterans House. Why would that be? Well, if you have a alcohol or drug mental health issue, you get detached from your family, how do you ever get back into the mainstream? And the one thing you need is an address to get back in the mainstream. And so in my career, I was lucky that I did search and rescue, I did transports, I was a navigator in the RCIF for 12 years. And I was lucky that I did a lot of dangerous things, but I was never injured. I was never exposed to long-term combat. Now, my grandfather was an engineering student at University of Toronto, and he volunteered for the First World War. Everybody wanted to be in the First World War. Second-year engineering student, his dad was a banker. He ended up in the Toronto Motorized Machine Gun Brigade, funded by the Eaton family, to sit in auto cars that was the first armored unit in the world. Well, they didn't really drive around a lot. They became the Canadian Machine Gun Brigade, and that, I believe, is now the 4th PCLI, or the Loyal Edmonton Regiment. And so when you look at it, he did 1914 to 19. They made him stay an extra year because he was an engineer. But think of what he was exposed to. And he only survived because he could draft. So for Vimy Ridge, they did a plot of the machine gun barrage to keep the Germans' head down. And so he got what they called the bomb-proof job. But he also has a military medal, which is the highest medal next to the Victoria Cross for an enlisted man. Now, being Air Force, I don't like to admit to my Army roots, but I definitely have Army roots. My dad was an Air Force pilot. I grew up in Air Force bases, and my dad flew the Canso. And I tell a story that when I started the company, I thought, well, what am I going to call it? Some Latin word nobody understands, or hire somebody to tell me it should be called some word they make up. I said, I'll call it Canso, slow but steady, cruised at 120 knots. And, this thing could go through thick and thin. If you watch the movie Greyhound with Tom Hanks, first airplane you see in it is a U.S. Navy Catalina PBY, and the last aircraft is a RAF Catalina saving the day. And ours were made in Montreal, about 2,000 of them, and they're all over the world. And so this aircraft, the Fairview one, is an amazing aircraft because a bunch of farmers figured out, got permission from Buffalo Airways to ice pilots, dragged it across the tundra, cutting down trees. You should talk to everybody involved. It's quite amazing. But that's our name, and my son is actually an officer with the PPCLI. I tend not to refer to that at my RCAF reunions, but he's a serving officer. He was here in Edmonton with 3 PPCLI. He was just finished with 2 PPCLI, and it's a bit different for somebody from Bay Street. Actually, we're not from Toronto. We're from Richmond Hill, Ontario, which is sort of the boondocks of Toronto. And people always say, you're from the suburbs? We go, no, we're north of the suburbs. But it's very important to me that our veterans, I've known a lot of people in the Air Force who had issues because they were always away from their families. It was difficult for them. I had a friend take his own life, and that really caused me to reconsider my own life about 35 years ago. And that's one of the reasons I started my own company. I thought life was too short. But when you think of the veterans, think of the individual peoples with their family. I used to think my dad was a hero, and I still do, actually. Flew Lancasters during war, prisoner of war, every rank in the Air Force up to squadron leader. But when I had a painting of a Canso done, they're all 100 on up. So 11087 was a Canso my dad flew. 11094, Fairview, I think he flew it. But I checked his logbook, and I saw that when I was a baby, now imagine my mom, 3 kids, and my brother and I are 18 months apart. And in those days, they sent you away for 6 months. You know, on a search or something. You had no choice in the matter. Now, what did that do to your family life? You probably have children, brothers and sisters. We had 5 kids, and we moved all around the country. My dad got an overseas posting, but it was unescorted to the Gaza Strip. And with the United Nations, he got kicked out early. But to me, that's what you should be thinking about. It's just not the veterans, it's their families, and it's their children. And I'm a proud service brat. I went to military college at 17, and so, you know, I've seen a lot of the military. But I appreciate everything you're doing. And frankly, the hard work is not what I do. Funding things, the hard work is really what Mully does, the city of Edmonton, the province, the politicians. I would never be good at your job, I will tell you that. But, you know, having everybody think about what's necessary and getting it done is so hard to do in the bureaucracy. And I really have great respect for Veterans House Canada and the politicians involved for actually doing that. And I'd like to thank all my colleagues. Anybody from Canso, put your hand up. Well, they put up with me. And the person who puts up with me the most is Heather. She's like the chief of defense staff. One of my friends was chief of defense staff, but she's tougher than him. And Heather and my colleagues have really supported what we wanted to do and believe in it. So I introduce you to Heather Mason-Wood, our president, and she has a few words to say.
Okay. Oops. Thank you, John. And John is very humble, and although I don't usually like to be too nice to him, because, you know, that's part of it. It kind of ruins my reputation. But John's family, the Carswell family, have been extremely generous in the donations, and that's been a big part, and I think that's awesome. I think we should give him a round of applause. And as president of Canso, this has been a big initiative for us. A big part of Canso's culture is giving back. We believe that we're very fortunate to be successful in the financial services industry, and that it's our duty to help others. And we are very careful in terms of where we direct our money, and we can think of no better place than Veterans House, because this is such a worthy cause and so well run, and we're just very proud to be part of this. So thank you very much, and I think this is an amazing initiative, and we're looking forward to all your projects across Canada. So thank you.
Thank you so much. As we mentioned earlier, we continue to fundraise for this project, and we still have a long way to go. So we will take Visa, check, cash, anything you want to give, and QR codes if you want to give later. And what I want to do in the next couple of minutes is take a few moments to recognize some of our incredible sponsors so far, many who have joined us here today. In the interest of time, we're going to take the photos and have them come up with Mully after the formal events, just over here. But I will recognize them all now. So let's start with the Legion National Foundation. We do have Cynthia in Garchu here from National Legion Foundation. In association with Royal Canadian Legion, the Legion National Foundation is dedicated to serving Canadian veterans and their families, and has committed $200,000 to this project. So please, yeah. Every little bit counts. On very short notice, the St. Albert Legion Branch 271 provided the podium and these flags behind us. So it's every little bit counts, and we appreciate their support. John Carswell and his team at Canso Investment Council Limited held a golf tournament in support of Veterans House Canada this summer, and they raised $115,000 at that one event. Just recently, we were thrilled to receive confirmation of another amazing commitment to Veterans House Canada, Edmonton. The Edmonton Civic Employees Charitable Assistance Fund has pledged $100,000 to this project, and we'll recognize them in a photo with the Edmonton Police Superintendent and Chair of the Fund, Derek McIntyre, who's here. So thank you. Yeah, and just a little more about this employee-led fund in Edmonton. It was established in 1941 as the Edmonton Civic Employees Welfare Chest Fund. It was formed to help military patients in Edmonton hospitals coming back from the war. And really the intent at the time was just to do it until the war was over. But they continue on today, continued on for 30 years, and they have donated more than $28 million to charities in the Edmonton region based on employee contributions. So thank you. Yeah. Aval Medical, with over 25 years of combined expertise in traditional healthcare and prescription-based therapies, Aval's medical team is proud to serve as a trusted guide to Canada's medical program. They are committed to helping patients navigate the evolving landscape of therapeutic options with confidence, compassion, and personalized care. Their goal is to ensure every individual receives safe, informed access to cannabis treatments that support their wellness journey. Aval Medical has contributed $25,000 towards our fundraising goal. Lockheed Martin is a global security and aerospace company headquartered in Bethesda, Maryland. It specializes in advanced technologies across 4 key business areas: aeronautics, missiles and fire control, rotary and mission systems, and space. With over 121,000 employees worldwide and more than 350 facilities globally, Lockheed Martin delivers innovative solutions to complex challenges in defense, scientific discovery, and national security. We are thrilled with the $25,000 sponsorship from Lockheed Martin. The Naval Association of Canada Endowment Fund is a dedicated financial resource established to support the long-term mission in the Naval Association of Canada, which promotes awareness of Canada as a maritime nation and the vital role of its Navy. The fund receives and invests donations to advance maritime interests through scholarships, research, publications, and partnerships with like-minded organizations. And so we are happy to have decided to partner with us, that they have decided to partner with us, and we thank them for their $10,000 commitment. So huge applause to all those sponsors, and if you want to be a sponsor, feel free to track myself or Jaylin or Mully down, and we'll help you do that today. We're now getting it to the official groundbreaking, and we're going to do it right here on the left. It consists of 2 parts. First, we're going to seed the ground with poppies, and then we're going to put the shovels in the ground to start the project. We're now happy. And so just on the ground seeding, we all know that the poppy is a powerful symbol of remembrance, and we wear it to honor and remember those who have served and made the ultimate sacrifice. Today, we are sowing poppy seeds on the grounds of Veterans House Canada in honor of those who have served and to symbolize hope and peace for the future. So let's get the Executive Director, Mully, up here with MLA Lunty, the councillors and Acting Mayor, John Carswell, and Nick Guficia, Vice President of Affordable Housing and Elliston Community Builders. And we will get the seeding done. Okay, so that's the seeding of the poppies. Well, work has been underway at the site for a few months now. Let's officially break some ground and celebrate this project to make a difference in so many lives. So go ahead with the shovels. All right, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and keep on taking photos, but just some final words to wrap up the official part of the ceremony today. Mainly, we wanted to provide a heartfelt thank you for all of you for joining us. We can't do this without all your support. A huge thank you to the Athlone community for welcoming us to the neighborhood. If you're interested in finding out more about Veterans House Canada or supporting our work, happy to answer those questions. We want to thank again EPCOR and the Athlone Community Centre for their sponsorship of running today's event and paying for it. And I do see CEO of EPCOR, John Elford's here, so thank you, John, to you and EPCOR for supporting today's event. Please feel free to check out our website at veteransHouseCanada.ca and enjoy the morning and refreshments. Thank you very much.